Hello and welcome to another episode of Faster Daily. In this episode, it's going to be a little bit personal because I have just gotten myself a new car. And the new car is the Hyundai Verna 2025. And yes, it's an automatic. It's my first dark colored car. It's my first automatic car. And it's my first turbo petrol car as well. But it's not my first sedan for sure. So let's get started.
So yeah, you were telling me about how you were telling your dad about my call to you.
Yeah. So when I got the car delivered, I sent a few of the photographs of the new delivery of the car to a few friends. उसमें Charles भी था. So Charles gave me like a call immediately, and he said he's so happy that I didn't buy myself an SUV, but I stayed true to the whole driving pleasure and dynamics, and I got myself a nice new sedan. And I told my father the very same thing, and he is like, why is like he's so happy because you didn't buy an SUV? Ideally, like people would say, why don't you go for a bigger car? So yeah, you tell me, Charles, why did you call me up and tell me that you're happy that I bought myself an SUV, and a sedan?
So okay, let me get this one thing out of the way first before people come heating at us. I can see the point of the monocoque SUV. So the perfect argument that I have gotten is somebody in Bangalore said to me that my sedan will never clear the speed breakers in Bangalore. So I get it. I
Right.
understand. Now that said, for the same amount of length in an SUV, you will get lesser interior space. You will get lesser boot space. And if you are the kind of person who goes on long drives, you will never be as comfortable in that seating position. I'm not talking about suspension comfort and all that. That pure seating position is never going to be as comfortable in an SUV. So if you can get a sedan, I would always prefer to get
Great. Many people don't realize that SUV actually offers lesser space than most sedans and hatchback. Like it just doesn't register to them because cabin के अंदर जाने के बाद उन लोग का दिमाग चलना बंद हो जाता है. They just look at the SUV from outside. They say it's a big car, and it must be big on the inside as well. And I mean, I explained this to my father. Okay, my father told me कि I told my father that let's just say there is a 750 square feet area ka flat, okay, which has an average ceiling height of 8 foot. That's the common norm over here. Okay, so that's a 750 area ka flat with 8 foot ceiling height. Now, what if I give you a 650 square foot ka flat, which is 100 square foot smaller, but I say the ceiling height is 10 foot or maybe 12 foot. It's one third more than what I was offering you. Is that really usable? Like the ceiling height of a flat apartment in Mumbai, if you get more than the necessity, whatever the usual norm, it's a good thing. But how much more? And is it really a useful thing? That's something that people don't realize when they buy an SUV. They get a tall, big, beefy car, which does not necessarily translate to a bigger cabin experience or a spacious cabin experience or even a comfortable one. Because space, comfort, and ingress, digress are separate things. It can be good, bad for separate model, body style, and everything. That's there.
so okay, here's consumer advice, actual consumer advice. Satya. How do you measure the space? How do you personally measure the space in a car? How do you know how to measure like legroom, for example?
Okay, so because I'm fat, I need some space between the steering wheel and myself. Whenever I'm in the
Hmm.
driver's seat, I adjust my seat according to my driving position, which is usually a little back behind. Of course, but the base of the seat is thoda sa piche, but the backrest is little upright. I don't
Hmm.
sit slant. I sit upright. Okay,
Hmm.
so that therefore the seat actually extends really close or sometimes behind the B pillar.
Hmm.
Okay. Then I get down, I sit in the passenger seat just behind me, and then I judge is it the footwell is deep enough or no, or is my knee fouling with the back of the seat, or is it very close to the door cluster, the door panels. So all these things, that's how I measure. Okay. But of course, many people, different body styles and different height, weight can differ. So ये मेरा personal है.
No, but this is the perfect way, right? Because if it's going to be your car,
Yeah.
you're not going to your at least your thigh bone length is not going to change. Even our spines change lengths during our lives, but our thigh
Yes.
bone is not going to change. So when you adjust the driver's seat as per your preferences and you sit behind the driver's seat, you'll come to know exactly how much more knee room you're getting in the back, and therefore the overall space in terms of India.
Okay.
So for everyone, so if you do it, I do it, we all can do it. We'll come to know exactly how to compare. That gives us a very good perspective.
I have noticed one thing. It's very weird, but so whenever I'm driving a manual, my seat is slightly further back or further away from the steering wheel, so I need some space. But whenever I'm driving an automatic, I don't, because there is no left leg movement at all. तो मुझे लेफ्ट लेग मूवमेंट
Because
करने के
your
लिए
right leg movement is from the ankle, but your left leg is
एंकल
from the knee.
नी हाँ ओके ओके is that why I sit differently in an automatic and a manual? I always knew it that I sit very differently because of our jobs I get to drive the manual and automatic of the same cars,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
but my seat
mm-hmm,
posture is different.
mm-hmm.
So I knew it was something different, but I just couldn't. Thank you. My left knee का movement की वजह से I was taking the seat back. So, sedan. I'll first up disclaimer. I would have loved to go down to a hatchback, but I don't know. I didn't find a nice hatchback. I-20
Mm-hmm.
N-Line was a great क्या बोलते हैं, tempting offer, but didn't feel like spending 14 lakhs or maybe 12 lakh rupees for an I-20 N-Line, whereas I got the Verna, no, it's turbo for 16 and a half.
That's pretty good value. Did the i20 also have a similar engine and gearbox and
No,
everything?
no, it's a smaller engine, but it's the same gearbox. 1 liter.
Okay.
I-20 is 1 liter, 120 horsepower. The my
Okay.
Verna is 1.5 liter,
Oh,
160 PS. That's
oh,
140,
that's
that's
a very big
significant
difference.
jump.
That's a big difference.
Big
Yeah.
difference. Plus, this is a four-cylinder. I-20 is a three-cylinder.
Three-cylinder. Yeah.
Three-cylinder
Okay.
turbo. So that's there. Plus, the reason why I went for the DCT was I've driven, my friend has the turbo manual, and I was never happy with the braking of that vehicle. I felt like it a short change, but the DCT gets disc brake all around. So my
Oh, okay.
spec, so my
Okay.
spec has disc brake all around. So that's why I'm sort of I know the braking is better than the manual. Of course, it's not as good as the Slavia or the Virtus. It's but okay. It's little, you remember the olden Hyundai spongy feel, but
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
but sharp at the very end of the brake pedal.
Okay.
Initially spongy, but so that's how it is. Of course, I've driven only 200 kilometers, many more miles to go. So initial feedback was sad. Um, First thing I want to say is I'll be really disappointed when Hyundai would launch the N-line version of the Verna, because I waited 2 years because of that only.
Okay.
Because I wanted like the sportier version of the N-line of the Verna, where I mean I could see that it has room for improvement. But unfortunately, the sales numbers are not dictating that. The sales have been in the range of say 1,000, 1,200, 1,500, 1,800. So there, it's not. Vertis has been a better seller than the Verna for some time now. Vertis actually is doing 2,200 units or 2,500 units in some cases. Um, the month of March, I believe Slavia did 800 units, 800 or 900 units, and the Virtus did 2,000 units, and the Verna did 1,200 units, and the city was at somewhere around 500, 700 units. So these are the these are the four vehicles which are like which were in my shortlisting. So ये हो गया. So I knew I would get a very good deal because the cars are not moving. Plus, I got myself the car in the month of March, which basically means financial year end, and they have to show sales on record. They gave me a very good deal for my Vento. My Vento was a 9-year-old Vento, diesel manual, mid spec, not the highest model, the mid spec. Driven 1,41,000 kilometers. Three sets of suspensions, multiple sets of tires, maybe four or five, two water pumps, steering rack repairs multiple times, suspension ka kaichi, the wishbone was replaced multiple times, and brake pads at every 10,000, 12,000 kilometers. तो ये सब किया. बैटरी बहुत बड़ा, दो दो तीन बार तो बैटरी डाला. AC compressor was busted. Once my radiator had to be flushed. So I completely agree with all the Volkswagen memes on the internet which basically say thus auto. Okay. I completely agree with that. 9 years late, of course, the car would give me like a 1 lakh rupee expense every 3 year.
Okay, so whether Verna will actually outdo the uh, your Vento is in brake pads, because this is an automatic. You will consume brake pads a lot more.
More.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And
Automatic.
the other thing is that don't think that just because it is a four-wheel disc setup that you can do your Fast and Furious, pull the handbrake and
Oh,
enter your.
electronic handbrake. No manual handbrake.
Oh, okay, interesting. So even if it was manual, right? What these guys used to do? You remember the i20 had a set of rear disc
Yeah,
brakes. As
I
did
know.
the Verna a long time ago,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
as did the City ZX 10th anniversary car, I think. That
Yes, you're
also
right.
had four-wheel disc brakes.
Yes,
So
you're
all
right.
these cars back then, they had the handbrake linked with a cable to
Hmm.
drums at the rear. So the
Okay.
drums were situated inside the discs, on the inner side of the discs. So when you hit the brake pedal, they would actuate the calipers.
Drums,
But
calipers.
when you
Okay.
pulled up, no, not the drums, the calipers for the brake discs. But when you pulled up the handbrake, that cable would pull shoes that hit the inside of those brake drums for parking only.
So, many cars, the i20, the Verna, with many mid-size cars with rear disc brake, you can't do a handbrake turn. And now I know why.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. I thought like, I mean, many of the times I remember driving my friend's Verna diesel, the 1.6, it had the rear disc brake, coming really fast, pull the handbrake, no rear
Nothing
wheel lock.
happens. Yeah.
The rear wheel would just progressively slow down. Like, धीरे 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 car will come to a halt. It is not that jerkiness like you turn the tail.
Yeah.
No, nothing like it.
So this I learned because I happened to see uh, in interior repair of one of these cars at my friendly neighborhood garage. Shout out to Rashid bhai. And I saw the cable from the handbrake lever. So I asked him. I said, "But disc brakes are hydraulic. So is there like how does this work? The cable goes where? Is there an actuator at the back?" He said, "No, there's just drums. So this is a cable linked to drums on the inside. If you look carefully, you'll see them."
Yeah. So but मेरा तो भी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पार्किंग ब्रेक है तो उससे उससे वो रियर तो लॉक करता है बराबर यू आर राइट
Mm.
बट व्हेन आई एंगेज इट आई कैन हियर द मोटर whining
Yeah.
the car just
Yeah.
stiffens up too much and when you release it it unwinds itself and the car
Does it
can go.
have that auto hold feature where
Yeah, yeah.
give it this thing? It Yeah. Oh,
If you
brilliant.
have electronic parking brake, they are now calibrating that for auto brakes or auto
Okay.
hold के लिए वो कर ही रहे calibrate.
So
It's a
okay.
common
So
thing.
so coming then, if you're talking about features, tell me like the five things that you feel are amazing about your car.
Amazing. So
Yeah.
people, you know how we are telling that the features are getting very distracting. Okay, the screens are getting distracting. There is a dead button on the steering wheel which can be calibrated for many purposes. My
Okay.
partner and I, my friend and I, we were just running through all those options. ये डेड बटन को हम क्या फंक्शन दे सकते हैं ये गाड़ी में ये डेड बटन को मैंने फंक्शन दिया डिस्प्ले ऑफ सो
So what does that do exactly?
इट जस्ट टर्न्स ऑफ द स्क्रीन ब्लैक खत्म नो डिस्ट्रैक्शन
If you can please put an overlay of this while if you
definitely
can when you're
definitely
making the video.
I will so while I'm driving I can just press the star button it's the dead button and the screen will go blank and I mean only the speedometer and the instrument cluster
Ah,
is
okay.
visible.
So okay. Huh. Oh, that's
So
okay.
it will not turn off the main MID na
Huh.
papa वैसा it'll turn off the distraction which is your
Okay.
infotainment वैसा
Oh,
so
okay.
that
Huh.
so that is a feature within a feature which I love.
Okay.
Okay, so that I love.
Okay. That's one.
One. Second is now because of my job at Autocar, I got to drive the prototype. I don't know if it's a prototype, but the very early model in 2023. The high speed stability was poor. Okay, which is why everybody raved the MQBA zero iron cars. Virtus truck. 2024, my friend bought the turbo manual. Okay. Again, the high speed stability was poor, and the rear end had a very bobbing action after every bump.
Hmm.
Now, my car, I've driven 240, 230 kilometers, and that bobbing action is significantly reduced. And this is a thing that Hyundai and Kia, they do it, where they do MMC बोले तो minor model change.
Hmm.
Minor model change में they update multiple parts without making a noise about it. So my vehicle has slight that just, and only I can tell because I've driven the 2023 model and 2024 model. I've driven, so there I can tell. So that is a good update which I like. Okay. I Other than that, I can tell you that I have no, I have a thing for auto parking, auto hold feature.
Okay.
It just elevates the driving pleasure to a degree where, you know, I didn't imagine I could disconnect so much from the car constantly. There is this rhythm of movements where you roll down the handbrake, you put in first gear, you leave the clutch. This is just like a game, maybe front stop, आगे रुको, वैसा बस और कुछ नहीं, वो है. And I like the space on offer. This is significantly spacious. It's significantly spacious.
Including the boot.
Boot is the biggest. So boot, the number is bigger by 5 liters.
Okay.
Virtus and Slavia 521 liters. This is 526 liters. But this is like, Charles, this is a sedan. Sedans will always have the bigger boot and bhayankar big boot. Yes, sir. What I didn't like is my
No, no,
Volkswagen
you
had
should have to give me the fifth one. There's four.
fifth one, driving modes.
It's got drive
Slavia
modes.
Virtus,
Okay.
this has driving modes, and it actually does its role better. So the Slavia Virtus सिटी का ड्राइविंग मोड शायद नहीं है. ओके, पता नहीं. वो सीवीटी का स्पोर्ट मोड है बस. This has eco, normal, and the sport. The genuinely the for rushing drive, like, oh, I want to get to some place urgently, you will be surprised. It's the eco mode which actually works better. Because
What's that?
eco mode keeps the car in mid range, which where there is the maximum amount of torque available.
Talk. Hmm.
So, if I want to rush to that, oh, I want to get there quickly. I'm just driving it like not flat out, but अरे थोड़ा जल्दी. It'll shift up, down, and the car will constantly be in that 3,000, 4,000 power band where there is plenty of torque available. Because sport mode will hold the gears and will go crazy
Till
high.
the red light.
करके वैसा. Eco mode surprisingly helps me drive quicker, not faster, quicker. वैसा. So this calibration I love.
Excellent.
वैसा.
Okay. And what did you not like about the car?
Didn't like is it has 16-inch wheels, but they look tiny on this car because the body shell is big.
Okay.
Okay, so that's there. I didn't like that the spare wheel में उन लोगों ने कंपार्टमेंट्स नहीं दिए हैं, जिसकी अभी मुझे आदत पड़ गई थी बिकॉज ऑफ माई Volkswagen Vento, एंड आई एम श्योर योर पोलो हैज स्पेयर व्हील के अंदर एक थर्माकोल
Ah, yes.
स्टायरोफोम का
Yes.
एक ये cage जैसा है, so where you keep everything properly.
The
This is
tools go
just
in
a
there. Correct.
pouch. Yeah, this is just a pouch में wrapped tools and jack bus. It feels very 2010 वैसा. So that's there. uh
Space saver spare?
One size small bus.
Okay.
One size small, and I never use a spare wheel as an actual wheel ever. My spare wheel always stays as a spare wheel because I know of a guy who does this. He does 5 tire rotation cycle.
Okay. But you
So
can
he
only
has
do
a,
that when all the tires are the same, all the wheels are the same, no?
हाँ उसका है वो. I think he
Okay.
has a jazz. He has a jazz, and he's surprisingly. Oh no, I remember him telling me he went to the Chor Bazaar and got himself a full size spare. Like basically, he didn't get a spare. He just got was just one wheel from the Jazz, and he uses that as a spare wheel, and he does 5 tire rotation. And वो मुझे odd numbers के साथ rotation नहीं होता. मतलब I feel very weird. Like I mean, like
Okay.
I cannot have one tire sitting back and then I'll be using that because then that will be a new tire and every other three will be the older one. So it's always there in the back of my mind. Yes, sir. So yeah, that's it. And one more thing I didn't like. I'll tell you what. So the turbo DCT of the Verna gets all-wheel disc brake that we mentioned earlier, but
Correct.
the front two calipers are red in color, and the rear
Okay.
ones are, the rear brake calipers are untreated, like जो लोखंड का color होता है वही color है. Okay, That looked
Okay.
really shabby to me.
Okay.
That really, एंड ये 2019 में जब किया इंडिया में आया था ना, सेल्टॉस को लेके 1.4 टर्बो पेट्रोल के साथ, तभी से किया कर रहा है, अभी Hyundai ने भी ये किया, Hyundai ने ये किया, ओके। सो सो तभी मैंने, जब मैं टेस्टिंग कर रहा था 1.4 टर्बो पेट्रोल का, तभी मैं डिसाइड किया था, इफ एट ऑल आई वाज टू बाय समथिंग लाइक दिस, I will get the calipers painted. And now I've already, like, the immediately the next day after delivery, I got took my car to my painter, बोला calipers को रेड पेंट कर, वो मैच, कलर मैच नहीं करे, चले नहीं हुआ तो भी चलेगा, बट ये लाल दिखना चाहिए। चलती गाड़ी में कोई कलर मैच नहीं करने वाला, बट लाल
Correct.
दिखेगा तो अच्छा दिखेगा वैसा। So that's why I liked it. I've done it. So I didn't like Hyundai and Kia's attitude कि वो आगे के कैलिपर्स को रेड रखते हैं और पीछे के कैलिपर्स को कलर नहीं करते वो। लकीली आई गॉट अपोलो टायर्स बाय द वे। से
Oh,
पहले के जो वर्नस थी उनको सीएट सिक्योरा ड्राइव आता था, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, मुझे
okay.
अपोलो के टायर्स मिले। ओके, तो वो एक एडवांटेज है वैसा। और तो कुछ नहीं यार, इट्स जस्ट अनदर पावरफुल कार, इट विच इज नॉट लॉक्ड एट 203 किलोमीटर पर आवर, दिस कैन डू 218, 218 का स्पीड जा सकता है ये, तो मैं
Wow.
इन द स्टॉक फॉर्म, मे इट बी मैनुअल और मे इट बी द डीसीटी, दोनों का टॉप स्पीड सेम है। Virtus and Slavia, they have a speed governor at 203. So those
Okay.
those chassis cannot go more than 203 kilometer per hour. They like,
Okay.
if this the, you remember KTM का speed fuel cutoff at the RPM limit, ये वैसा थोड़ा 203 पे फील होता है फ्यूल कट ऑफ। और
Okay.
वो स्पीड गवर्नर का फ्यूल कट ऑफ है, वो रेव काउंटर का स्पीड कट ऑफ नहीं है ऐसा।
Interesting.
Yeah.
And is your usage a lot?
No, my usage has dropped significantly. I used to,
Okay.
so as my Vento, we've driven 140,000 kilometers in 9 years, which is
Mm.
okay for a diesel car. But now my usage has come down to 5 to 6 kilometers per day. And now
Okay.
that too only, that too, I have the option to switch between car and my motorcycle. So
Okay.
if I was to take my car on Monday, I can take my bike on Tuesday. That
Okay.
way. So that's why I went ahead and bought one of the most inefficient cars.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So yeah, fuel efficiency is, it's Verna is not the, actually none of the turbo petrols are known for fuel efficiency. People
Which
are
is
getting, hmm?
which is very interesting, no? Considering that the
No,
turbo is supposed to be
people are
efficient.
bragging. No, people are bragging. मुझे 17-18 का माइलेज मिल रहा है, and Charles, you and I, we know that MID का mileage is programmed to give you a number at that moment. When you count from full tank to full tank, that number which is shown on the MID and what you calculate is, there is a distance between that number.
True.
Then it is your driving skill. How do you bring that number close to what the meter shows you, and then you actually real world mileage. तो वो ड्राइविंग स्किल है, सिचुएशंस है, बहुत सारी बातें हैं। बहुत बार तो मुझे कभी फोन आते तो मैं गाड़ी पे 10 मिनट गाड़ी चालू रख के मैं फोन पे बात करता हूँ। आई कैन ड्राइव, आई जस्ट पार्क माई कार, तो उसमें भी पेट्रोल जाता है मेरा।
Correct.
तो
But okay, here we go.
माइलेज,
Consumer advice. How do you actually track your fuel efficiency?
जब सैंट्रो थी मेरे पास तभी मुझे याद था, वो गाड़ी 1000 के पेट्रोल पे कुछ 75 किलोमीटर चलती थी। ओके, लेकिन तभी 1000 के पेट्रोल पे बहुत ज्यादा पेट्रोल आता था। ओके, ये तभी का, वो अच्छे दिनों की बात है। और अब फुल टैंक टू फुल टैंक, और ये मैं ऑटो कट ऑफ नहीं करता। मैं आई फिल द नेक ऑफ द फ्यूल टैंक एज वेल, बट ये मैं पहले की
Okay.
गाड़ियों में करता था। आई हैव
Hmm.
बीन एडवाइज की BS6 2.0 गाड़ियों में ये ना करे,
Yeah.
क्योंकि उससे फ्यूल
The
पंप
breather
पे
tube
बहुत,
needs that space. Yeah.
या, हाँ, तो मैं अभी ऑटो कट ऑफ से करूंगा। जैसा जस्ट वेर एवर द नोजल एंड द फ्यूल दे हिट एंड द फ्यूल नोजल कट्स ऑफ, वैसा। तो दैट इज द मोस्ट करेक्ट वे टू कैलकुलेट योर माइलेज एंड नॉट बिलीविंग योर MID, बिकॉज MID, listen to this, listeners, the MID giving you the fuel efficiency even in your car and the bike takes information from your engine speed, which is RPM, your throttle position sensor, which is attached to your accelerator pedal, your velocity, which is attached to the free wheel of your car or your bike, and ये सबका गणित करके, and which gear the car is in, okay, ये सबका गणित करने के बाद गाड़ी का एस्टिमेट होता है कि इतना माइलेज होना चाहिए, तो वो नंबर आपको दिखाया जाता है एमआईडी के ऊपर. सो डू नॉट बिलीव व्हाट योर कार और योर बाइक सेज कि मुझे 18 का माइलेज मिल रहा है, मुझे 24 का माइलेज मिल रहा है. It is not entirely true every time. It can be true in some cases, but I would still not believe that and calculate myself.
So here's what I do. My usage is very low, and
Hmm.
I've had a bad experience with filling a bike's tank, and that was a time when I used to have three bikes. So I had the habit of doing full tank to full tank, but I should not use them. So the lock, it jammed. The tank lock jammed. So since
Okay.
then, I've learned that, you know what, even if I don't like standing in line, at least once a month I should go and fill fuel just to work that lock. So what I have begun doing is I've begun using this app called Fuelio. So we'll put up a screenshot of the
Screenshot.
app.
Yeah.
This app is brilliant, especially if you have multiple vehicles to track. So all you
Okay.
have to do is either take a photo of, the counter where you purchase your fuel, or just ask for a bill. That's the easier thing. And at your convenience, also take a photo of your odometer. And at your convenience, you fill in the details in the app. And over time, even if you don't do full tank to full tank, over time, using the details that you feed in, it will not only give you your average fuel efficiency. So if I put 500 rupees ka petrol in my bike, na, over like 4 5 times when I fill
4
500,
5 trips to the fuel pump.
yeah, it'll give me an average. It'll do that. It'll tell me where I have a habit of filling fuel, because it asks you where you filled the fuel. It'll give me the price of the fuel. You get a graph of the price of the fuel, whether it's going up, down, or not over the last 6 months, 1 year. It is true that I can also enter other costs related to the vehicle. So it'll give me monthly fuel you spend so much on the vehicle, servicing you spend so much. So I can actually track the cost of the vehicle per month, per year. So it's a super useful app. It's free. I have not paid for this app even on in the Apple systems, and I find it brilliant to use. So if that's something that you feel
I'm
like
gonna do
tracking,
that.
and I
I'm
always
gonna do
advise people to track fuel efficiency, not because of cost or anything, because when your fuel efficiency fluctuates a lot suddenly, when your usage or driving style does not, then something's going on with your vehicle, and you need to get it checked.
That's good advice. This is very good advice, guys. Okay, this is the good side of internet. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, Verna. For paddle shifters, I like paddle shifters, man. I
Ah.
like paddle shifters. I really enjoy shifting gears via paddle shifter. But there is one. I This is a glitch, or this is a tuning thing, or this is somebody who didn't think much. Okay, the minute you operate paddle shifters, the car goes on manual mode. That's a
Correct.
common thing.
Hmm.
But then there is no way to put the car back to again the automatic mode.
So
Basically, I have
when
to.
this would happen with either the Hondas or the VWs. I'm talking about the previous generation cars I used to drive. That will be not previous, 2 generations ago. I'm sorry.
Two generations ago,
So
हाँ
yeah.
वही.
So what they used to do was they would hold for some time, and then they would say, okay, this guy is done with his overtaking or whatever, and they would switch back automatically to automatic.
Yes, D mode.
Yes. So try that.
I
Just calmly, don't give it too much throttle. Keep the car going and see how long it should take, around 30 seconds, 1 minute. It should go back to D.
because I remember. So I in your Polo it was D, M and S.
Correct.
So S may it will do the sporty shifting for you. M is
Correct.
when you take over, and then it will go
Correct.
back to D if you don't touch it too much.
Correct.
Okay, got it. Let's see. Let's see.
So
अभी
the
तो
theory
बस
behind that is that you're dropping a gear to overtake someone, and then you're done. So you just let it be, and then it would go back to D automatically in um, 30 seconds, 1 minute, whatever. But you have to give it that much time.
the next thing that I'm going to put on my car is it's slightly inside. I would not recommend people to do that. It is lowering springs. Cobra suspension lowering springs. The dealer is Achinte Mehrotra from Delhi. AM Racing, great guy, drives amazing. I follow his work. I listen to his podcast, and I've seen many cars, many Polos and Ventos and Rapids and Virtus and Slavias on lowering springs. Not many Vernas, but some I-20 N lines. तो मैंने सोचा मैं भी ट्राई कर लूँ. मजेदार है. मतलब देखते हैं अभी डिलीवर तो हुए हैं, बहुत अच्छी क्वालिटी के लग रहे हैं. सिर्फ स्प्रिंग्स आए हैं. And I'll share the price. It's 30,000 rupees, and then shipping was slightly extra.
For the entire
Uh,
set?
no, it's only springs, Baba. I'm not changing damper.
Okay.
Damper shock. The telescope is factory. सिर्फ
Okay.
स्प्रिंग बदलेगा बस और कुछ नहीं.
Okay.
And they match very well with my red brake calipers because the springs are red. वैसा.
Very nice.
So so
So
that's good.
if you whenever you do that, and if you intend to put the stock springs back, you can always paint the stock springs red while they're out.
थोड़ा थोड़ा छपरी लगेगा वो थोड़ा.
And like the lower ones will not.
It is. Cobra springs are from Holland, my friend. They're imported stuff, yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't call imported stuff छपरी. But anyway, but ये बस temporary है. एक दो महीना चलाऊंगा मैं. The car will go back to stock until my warranty runs out. Okay. So warranty period में my vehicle will be factory set. Okay. And the third thing is,
How much warranty have you got for it? Have you bought extended warranty or anything
no,
like
I
that?
didn't. I didn't. I usually do, but यार इतनी सारी व्हीकल्स अभी हो गई है ना. मैंने एक बात नोटिस की है, जो टूटने वाला नहीं है ना वो कभी नहीं टूटेगा. और जो खराब होने वाला है ना वो वारंटी हो नहीं, वो खराब होते ही रहती है. ये स्टीयरिंग रैक, वोक्सवैगन का स्टीयरिंग रैक उन लोगों ने मुझे वारंटी में बदल के दिया था. बाद में साला वारंटी खत्म होने के बाद खराब हुआ वो. तो वो वारंटी ऐसी चीज है ना, वो भी अपने को थोड़ी जानकारी होनी चाहिए. वारंटी के नाम पे तुम कुछ भी नहीं पेल सकते. थोड़ा एंड वारंटी इज अ वेरी ट्रिकी थिंग दैट दे हैव क्यूरेटेड. मतलब ये वारंटी में आता है, वो नहीं आता. ये वेरेंटर में है, ये वारंटी में है, लेकिन इसकी वारंटी 6 महीने पहले खत्म हो गई. पूरी गाड़ी पे 2-3 साल की वारंटी है, लेकिन ये पार्ट पे 1 ही साल की है. यू नो हाउ इट दे.
So, let me iron out this concept of warranty for those people who don't know. The warranty is a promise by the company that what they've given you is a part and an assembly of parts which meets their quality standards. If it doesn't meet their quality standards, out of goodwill, they will replace that particular part and any other parts associated with it that have gotten affected by it. But as a layperson, you or me will not be able to prove that the manufacturing of that part was not good and that part is defective. So any warranty replacement ultimately happens under either goodwill or duress. The latter is you can find some way to put pressure on them.
कंज्यूमर कोर्ट. मैं जा रहा हूँ. मैं नहीं
This
नहीं, मैं पहले ट्विटर पे जा रहा हूँ. मैं ट्वीट करूंगा. अरे मैंने एक बंदे का ट्विटर अकाउंट देखा था. ओके. पता नहीं कैसे मिल गया मुझे, बट मिल गया. वो भाई साहब का ट्विटर अकाउंट एक ही चीज के लिए उसने बनाया था, जीप इंडिया को पकाने के लिए. ओके. ही बॉट अ जीप कंपस. आई डोंट नो व्हाट ही वाज बाय प्रोफेशन, बट सीम लाइक अभी कंपस खरीदा है तो कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट काम कर रहा होगा. तो जीप कंपस का उसका पूरा फीड मैंने बस स्क्रॉल किया. ये कैसा है, ऐसा दरवाजे के पास क्यों आ रहा है, क्रिकिंग साउंड है, प्लास्टिक क्रिकिंग साउंड. थोड़ा जोर से दरवाजा बंद कर दे, आवाज आ गया. ट्वीट, सिर्फ ट्वीट. कंपस में और इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पार्किंग ब्रेक. सो इट वर्क्स ऑन ब्रेक पेडल. इफ यू हैव नॉट प्रेस द ब्रेक पेडल, इट विल नॉट एंगेज. ओके. और थोड़ा बहुत मिसमैच हो जाता है बहुत बार. यू हैव टू पंप, लाइक यू हैव टू लीव द ब्रेक, यू हैव टू डू इट अगेन, ऐसा. उसमें भी उसने उसने ये किया. प्लस बाद में idling, the MJD engines are not very silent. These Fiat diesel engines are, I wouldn't classify them as quiet diesel engines जैसा Hyundai का होता. भाई ये वो भी ट्वीट कर रहा है कि अरे इतना इंजन का आवाज कैसे आ रहा है, वाइब्रेशन, एक गलत डिफेक्टिव पीस दिया है मुझे. बेसिकली 40 लाख खर्चा करने के बाद जो उसको अटेंशन चाहिए था वो नहीं मिला. वो ट्विटर के द्वारा ले रहा था.
I wonder
बस.
what his previous car was.
I'm sure he was. This is his first time expensive car and a बाहर का कंट्री का गाड़ी. वेरी मच श्योर. आई एम नॉट टेकिंग द नेम ऑफ द ब्रांड फॉर अ रीजन. बट पहली शायद ऐसा उसने कोई अमेरिकन ब्रांड का या समझ लो द नॉन इंडियन गाड़ी खरीदा रहे पैसा, वो रहेगा. आई डोंट नो. Because his attitude didn't seem like he's come down from a big brand to achieve. ओके. इट सीम लाइक मैं अभी आया, मैंने पैसा दिया, मुझे दो, अटेंशन दो, मुझे ये करके दो, मुझे नया गाड़ी करके दो. अरे ये जो एंटाइटलमेंट है ना लोगों का. चार्ल्स, दिस रिमाइंड्स मी, आई वांट टू टेल यू वन स्टोरी. ओके.
Hmm.
देयर इज दिस गाय, ही इज माय क्लाइंट. ही कम्स टू मी विद अ टाटा पंच ईवी. ओके. टाटा पंच ईवी लेकर आता है. he tells me he's had almost all generations of Skoda Superb until the most recent one. He tells me he has a Skoda Superb VR6. Okay, he has it. I've never seen it. I've only seen him in Tata Punch. He has a VR6, and he's restored it. थोड़ा बहुत काम था, restoration नहीं था, थोड़ा बहुत काम था उसने स्कोडा इंडिया में कराया, स्कोडा सर्विस सेंटर में कराया. They charged him a hefty 12 lakh rupees, which he willingly paid to restore the VR6. Okay, and now this is the background of the guy, and now he's come to Tata Punch EV, where the punch has is showing malfunctions, where the car display is going kaput, and car is shutting down in the middle of the drive. Okay, so that's hazardous. I completely understand. It is a safety hazard, only not only for him but for other people as well. Other people using the road. This guy goes to the Tata service center and complains this has happened, and they tell him कि we will look into the matter. टाटा के साथ ये प्रॉब्लम हो चुका है कि दे बिट मोर देन दे कैन च्यू. इतनी गाड़ियां बेच दी है, उनको पता नहीं अभी इनको सर्विस कैसे करनी है. एंड उनको उनके रग रग में तो अभी भी ट्रक है ना, 407. मुझे वो मैं निकला गड्डी लेके वही चालू है. और ये स्कोडा ओनर जाता है टाटा सर्विस सेंटर और बोलता है ये गाड़ी में फॉल्ट है, ये ठीक करके दो. And they agreed, and now his entitlement, I literally asked him, where does your entitlement come from? कि आप बोलते हो कि मुझे डोनर कार चाहिए. अगर सेल्स नंबर के हिसाब से 5,000 गाड़ी टाटा बेचता है, उसमें से 1,000 गाड़ी खराब होती है, तो 1,000 डोनर कार उनके पास नहीं है. यू आर नॉट इवन ड्राइविंग द फ्लैगशिप ऑफ टाटा मोटर्स. टाटा मोटर्स का फ्लैगशिप सफारी है जो 34 लाख रुपए का है. यू आर वन थर्ड ऑफ दैट प्राइस एट द मोमेंट, और चल 15-16 लाख, यू आर हाफ द प्राइस. तो ये एंटाइटलमेंट कहाँ से आया कि अरे ये खराब है तो मुझे तो देन द होल आर्ग्यूमेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ सैंक डाउन. इज लाइक you don't get the point करके वैसा. बोले no, I get the point, but I completely want to know where does your entitlement come from कि अगर गाड़ी खराब है तो मुझे डोनर कार मिलनी ही चाहिए कर. You are just distracting them from repairing your car. I would, if it was me, I would say take all your resources and put in repairing my car. Make it quick, make it early. I will manage, क्योंकि मैं गाड़ी खरीदने के पहले ट्रैवल में कर सकता था. ऐसा नहीं कि मेरे पास बचपन से यही गाड़ी था और मैं रोज ऐसा. सो दे शोकेस इट लाइक अरे मैं क्या करूं, मैं अभी ऐसे कैसे जाऊं इधर वगैरह वो करूं. तो वो बंदा ऑफकोर्स बाद में उसके बाद आई सॉर्ट ऑफ रिलैक्स्ड हिम, ईज्ड हिम डाउन, बोले कि ठीक है होता है, चलो अभी कस्टमर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, मैं उसको ज्यादा बोल नहीं सकता. बट मैंने उसको फिर भी पूछा कि भाई तुम इतना एंटाइटलमेंट कहाँ से लेकर आते हो कि तुम्हें इतना अटेंशन मिलेगा ही मिलेगा, वही 16 लाख खर्चा
A
करने के बाद.
a lot of English sayings, they've been shortened like tweets. So that saying, the customer is always right. That's an incomplete saying.
ओके.
It's the customer is always right in the matter of choice. It doesn't say anything more than that.
आई मीन बहुत लोगों को समझेगा भी नहीं. नहीं ऐसा. मुझे एक मेरे फ्रेंड ने एक स्टोरी बताया था. I want to tell you the story as well. He was working in Mercedes at the time. Okay, he was a service advisor. One of his client, one guy in Mumbai purchased the highest spec S class that you can buy, not the Maybach, the S class wala.
S500, yeah.
Highest 500. Okay, so he said the car is completely fine, amazing, working, but whenever I travel in the car, तो वो गाड़ी में होता था मैल फंक्शन, इंफोटेनमेंट स्क्रीन वगैरह पे. ओके, तो वो 2 महीना 3 महीना गुजारा. ओके, एंड सर्विस सेंटर में, एंड दे couldn't फिगर आउट. सो वो गाड़ी को ऐसा भूतिया गाड़ी, ऐसा वो लोकल जोक, ऐसा इनसाइड जोक बन गया था वो. बट दैट्स नॉट द पॉइंट ऑफ द स्टोरी वाज दैट गाय, they everybody appreciated his attitude. He took the car. In the 10th or the 12th day, he realized it's not working fine. He just came to the service center, said, "This is the problem, get it fixed." And he left. And then, when later on, 2-3 weeks later, he remembered, he's like, "Okay, is it fixed? No, you need more time? Take more time, no problem." Somebody who comes from a background, uh, you can tell by the way they tackle the problem, where they are solution oriented and not mess oriented. मुझे मुझे गाड़ी ठीक करके दो, मुझे मुझे और कुछ नहीं चाहिए. बस मेरी गाड़ी है, मैंने 4 करोड़ भरे, 4 करोड़ की गाड़ी का लाभ मुझे लेना है। ये एटीट्यूड उसका सही था। यू नो व्हाट द प्रॉब्लम वाज, दे फिगर्ड आउट लेटर। सो व्हेनेवर ही वुड ट्रैवल, ही वाज शॉफर्ड अराउंड, ओके। तो वो पीछे बैठता था, पीछे लेफ्ट साइड में, जिसके सीट के नीचे इतने सारे वायरिंग्स थे, उसमें से एक शॉर्ट हो रहा था। बस, बस इट वाज दैट सिंपल। वो, but and when they told him, sir, this was the issue, then he was like, even he laughed it off. Yeah, oh, it was so simple, it was so easy, it was just like I was damaging my own. He was so nice, वैसा। तो ये जो अभी मैं बोलता हूँ एंटाइटलमेंट, मेरे को एंटाइटलमेंट नहीं है। मेरे को गाड़ी खरीद ठोका वोका वट एवर हैपेंस, सर्विस सेंटर में जाने के बाद ना मैं दूसरी गाड़ी नहीं मेरे को हजम होती। यू डू दैट?
So, after a lifetime of borrowing cars and bikes and riding them, I can safely say that I'm very much happier operating my own vehicle. Feeling that I would rather take a cab or a rickshaw.
Your own, you said it, because donor car is not my car. Charles, donor car is just not my car. I don't want that trouble on my, that responsibility on my head. मेरी गाड़ी को तुम ठीक करो ना, चलेगा, तुम अपना टाइम दो, 10 की जगह 12 दिन ले लो, बट मुझे डोनर कार नहीं चाहिए, बिकॉज वो भी एक त्रास है। अभी उसको भी कुछ हो गया तो भाई मुंबई में कुछ भी हो सकता है। मेरे शॉप पे साला खड़ा था गाड़ी, एक नौसिखिया ड्राइवर आके ठोक के चला गया। थैंकफुली वो कस्टमर के सामने ही हुआ, तो
हाँ
ब्लेम किसी पे नहीं आया वैसे।
हाँ।
सो तो ये अभी डोनर कार का टेंशन लेके कौन पालेगा? और ऐसा नहीं कि यार, मेन इज गाड़ी लेने से पहले तुम्हारा एटीट्यूड क्या था। यू कैन गो बैक टू दैट एटीट्यूड, इट्स ओके, यू हैव नॉट बीन रिच ऑल योर लाइफ।
So now life advice from consumer advice again. Second shout out to Rashid Bhai. So he said to me, okay, that never borrow vehicles from friends, no matter how close they are, because he said Charles Bhai. Sorry, he says because we Charles Bhai. Don't put this part in. He said Charles Bhai, you might be the best driver in creation, but at night when you park the car, you're taking the car for a trip. No? You don't know what the parking is like. You might park it on the road and somebody else might come along who is bad or a drunk driver. He'll smash your friend's car and he'll go off. And that'll come in the middle of your friendship. So it's better to not borrow the car, take a cab, figure out some other way. Never borrow a friend's vehicle. And that made so much sense to me. Since then, I don't think I've ever borrowed anybody's vehicle unless it was some really big emergency and there's no other way out.
So
It made
I
a lot of
don't
sense.
usually borrow cars, okay? But sometimes my friends have given me their motorcycles, like चला चालू रख, चला, और मैं फिर भी ना बोलता हूँ।
So
फिर
yeah,
भी ना
I
बोल
also say no because of
फिर भी
this.
ना बोलता हूँ, क्योंकि अगर वो बोल रहा है चालू रख, मतलब इसमें कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम हो गया। मैंने एक बार कोविड के टाइम पे बिनेली TNT 600 आई ली थी दोस्त की, and I ended up spending 10,500 rupees on that bike because I parked it in the rain and the fuel pump got busted. तो 10,500
So
का
for me,
खर्चा
it's
हो
not
जाता।
about that. It's more about I can't predict what's going to happen. Tomorrow, a rat might come and sit in the bike and chew wires. And the way you and I are, we will always return something in better condition that we than we got it in. So I've reached that stage in my life where I feel like if I cannot maintain this vehicle or repair it, I don't want to borrow it because it's not for me.
बस दो दोस्तों की गाड़ी बोरो की थी, बस दैट्स इट। वो भी मुझे याद है, वो भी खास दोस्त है करके, जाने दो, बस, नथिंग। एंड यू नो हाउ इट इज यार, मीडिया व्हीकल्स आती है, फ्लीट व्हीकल्स आती है, तो एक अलग स्ट्रेस रहता है, क्योंकि अपने बाद और 10 लोग चलाने वाले हैं, उसका नाम खराब होता है ऐसा। एनीवे, सो कमिंग बैक टू द वर्ना, KNN का एयर फिल्टर डालने वाला हूँ, ऑर्डर दे दिया है,
Okay.
वो आ जाएगा। सो व्हाट आई सेड वाज स्प्रिंग्स, लोअरिंग स्प्रिंग्स, KNN एयर फिल्टर, एंड विंडो tints, बस।
Mhm.
That's it. These are the only things
How
that I'm
is
gonna run.
the audio system in the car? Is it good? Is it
Yeah,
nice?
हाँ, it's Bose, okay. But
Okay.
since Kia has entered the market, okay. So Aditya Chatterjee and I, we both were in overdrive तभी, and Kia long term के लिए आया था, long term कार का, and तभी हम लोग दोनों का unanimous opinion था कि Kia Seltos का Bose system बोस की तरह नहीं बचता, मतलब जो उसका नाम है, रेपुटेशन है। लाइक JBL इन टाटा व्हीकल्स इज बेटर देन बोस इन Hyundai कोरियन व्हीकल्स इन मेनी केसेस। तो ये मेरी वर्ना का भी ना इतना वाव नहीं है, बट आई एम श्योर बिकॉज यू नो बेटर अबाउट tweaking the equalizer, maybe you can juice out better.
Actually, because I do sit in, shout out to Sushil, whose Creta I sit in quite a lot, which also
Mm,
has a Bose system. So
okay.
it does not sound as premium as one would expect the Bose brand to be.
Yes.
And to be very honest, there are some very decent audio systems. Imran and Samir have just bought an XL6 automatic,
Mm,
and that has a quite an impressive audio system for like a no brand system. And honestly speaking, this Tata JBL thing, JBL is now owned by the Harman Group, and they make
mm,
some excellent audio systems, whether it is automobile or home audio, whatever. They own
okay.
multiple brands. So they do
Okay.
have both the knowledge and the technology. So it's like a KTM thing, right? They make one thing and you can spread it across brands. So that it will sound pretty good. And ever since the Tiago, Tata has actually been paying attention to audio in the cars. And weird fact, right? The audio system will sound better if your car's noise insulation is good. So, for example, in my Polo,
Mm,
at the
mm,
back, it was always very quiet. You sit at the back in the Jazz at highway speeds, you'll hear this resonance from the rear wheel wells.
mm,
And I don't know exactly what it is. It could be a combination of they actually put this rubber-based damping paint. They spray it on the inside of the wheel arch because when the tires they hit the asphalt or concrete, and they hum. And that thing with that noise, that metal vibrates, and then that carries through the entire cabin, right? So it could be that. It could be the boot liner. It could be the parcel tray at the back. It could be any one of these things that is allowing the sound to come to the rear seat. So if you have that, then your audio system gets that noise interference and it will not sound as good. So a very
okay.
simple upgrade is to put sound damping material in your doors, and you'll actually feel like your audio system is better simply because it starts eliminating outside noise.
So the मेरा वेंटो हम लोग उड़पी लेके गए थे. So we were like 5 people in my car, one guy on his motorcycle. 6 लोग का सामान एक बूट में एडजस्ट किया था. So the boot was filled to the brim. Okay? And that was the time my Vento has sounded the best for some reason. Like once the boot was completely occupied, there was no sound getting wasted, if that is the right way to say it. Like everything was focused into the cabin only. और भी cabin में बैठे 5 लौंडे तो और sharp आ रहा था क्योंकि the sound was, the
No
cabin was already
reverberation,
filled.
no
Huh?
muddiness. Yeah, no muddiness because there's no. It's like sitting in a room. So if you listen to me like this, that room
Hmm.
reverb creates a little bit of.
हाँ. So there was no reverb. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. There was no reverb. Yeah. This बाद में उसके बाद तो कभी इतना अच्छा बजा नहीं. भी 5 लोग वापस मिले नहीं गाड़ी पे और सामान इतना कभी आया नहीं ऐसा. Interesting. Anyway, चलो, I have nothing much to speak about the car. I would rather come. We might do something like this while driving the car. Okay,
Ah. Oh,
and I want you to
stop
drive
the
it.
recording. I want to share random stuff with you.
Okay, so wait. So this was another episode of Faster Daily where I just spoke about my car, and my car is actually kept like a secret because I'm not posting it anywhere. Only few people know about it, but and only my subscribers on YouTube who are watching this. That's it. So stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, and अगर कुछ अच्छा ज्ञान मिला हो तो अमल करना उस पर. और अगर आपको ज्ञान देना है तो कमेंट में लिख देना, हम फिर भी पढ़ लेंगे. ओके, चलो, बाय बाय. आई विल